Hey everybody on YouTube, thought I'd show a little update that I made to the Gingery Shaper and also some things I've finished on the locomotive that are small but important. So start first things first, since we're here at the Shaper. If you watched before, you noticed before I just had this upper pulley shaft and I had this 2-inch pulley mounted here, and the belt went up there. So the belt was a little bit in the way of the ram going back and forth. What I did today was to add an extra jack shaft down here, and so I moved the pulley from outboard there to the center of this, and I've got a 4-inch pulley here and another 2-inch pulley there. So basically double the reduction that I had from the original. Well, not quite double because this is an 8-inch pulley, but you get the idea. It's extra reduction. Also, I went to Harbor Freight. I got another one of these adjustable link belts. Very happy with those things. They're so cool. Anyway, so let me turn this on and I'll show you. You'll be able to tell right away that the motor is basically running twice as fast as it was. Turn it down first. Here's the controls. This is Cycletrol 150, a very cool piece of gear. So turn it on. Turn the speed up. So right now, see if you can see that, not like 40%, and the machine's moving really slowly. The motor's going very fast. Fast enough I probably need to build a bird for that. But the cool thing about it, the treadmill motors, they produce the most torque when the motor's going, in a higher part of the RPM range, I believe, having used them for years. So having the extra reduction on there is a very good thing. So when I'm actually machining some material with the shaper, then the torque should help, shouldn't matter. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm pretty excited about it. I'm crank it up. About 50%. That's probably about as fast as you would want to run a shaper in normal time. So the motor's cranking out pretty high right there. Alright, so good practice. Turn it down, turn it off, turn the power off, and I'll unplug it in a little while. But on the locomotive, I made a little more progress here with some essential things that I need to do. And for my live steam friends that don't check out my Instagram, I made a cone-shaped funnel for this blower. The blowers are used, let me stick it in there and I'll explain. So blower is used to create a draft through the boiler and the tubes of the boiler. So there's the fire from the propane in there down in the firebox, and then you want the hot air to come through the boiler and heat up the water that surrounds the boiler tube. So when you're first getting going, you need an artificial source of vacuum, or not really vacuum, but a blower to create the draft. So I had bought this. This is a Dayton blower model 1T. Turn around, you can see it. 1T DP3. So I made the little cone for it out of 20 gauge steel, and I used steel rivets that I mashed down onto the steel pop rivets, and I used steel pop rivets on there too. So I'm glad I finally got that made. I put it down here in this box. This will be some essential items that I'll need to take to the track with me whenever we finally get to run this. But the next things I'll be working on the locomotive, I desperately need to finish up, make a steel ring that goes around this the bottom of the the steam dome, and then I've got the lid for it. I need to make a spacer kind of thing. I'll do a video about that later, but kind of finish it off to have the steam dome finished and with holes in it so that the safeties can stick out and be visible, because you'll need to be able to adjust those. So I'm going to cut this brass rod down once I ever fit the thing on. I made this extra long on purpose. I knew I wasn't going to need it that long, but I'll cut it down and thread so that I can have a nice nut on top of that to keep the lid. I don't know if you can see it, but it's sitting on the edge of the mill over there. There we go. That's the steam dome lid See if I can point to it. I don't know if my camera will work. There we go, my giant finger. So that's it. And then the sand dome here, zoom back out. There we go. This is the sand dome. So it's more of a decorative item at this stage, but I do need to finish that. I may as well, since COVID-19 still has us kind of trapped up, trying to be careful. I'll finish as much of these smaller items as I can, since we know the locomotive itself works. I ran it on air again recently, and I just took it down off of it. It was up on blocks before. Took it down so I could make this. This doesn't look like much, but this is going to be pretty essential to connects the locomotive to the front of the tender there. So it's a drawbar. So I made that. Need to make a few little more items, and I got the blueprints for the tender out because I'm going to basically pattern the propane car off of the tender. I have some trucks that you can see down below the tender. I plan to use those for the new propane tank car, but I do need to make a frame, and there's a little more to it than you would think. So that'll be an upcoming project as well that I'll post about. But I do want to continue to get the locomotive ready. I'm really excited about this thing. Let me take another picture. I'll go put the pilot truck back on, because I had taken that off when it was jacked up, because I've blocked up under here, and it makes it easier to lift if that's not on. And also it was since I wanted to test the axle pump, which is right underneath here, right here, it was helpful to have that out of the way. But it's back in place now, and there's the locomotive. Pretty excited about it. The tender is under wraps. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for me to use those trucks down there to build a tank car. So that's my update for today. I hope everybody's doing well, staying safe, and I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Like and subscribe if you're interested in this content. And as always, I will keep you posted. Thanks again, folks.